Hi everyone, and welcome to today's live feed. Hello.
Hello.
Who are you?
What? You should know me.
Oh.
I'm called away. Sorry, I'll be back.
As Melissa goes to answer our landline, I thought I'd do a live feed today to chat with you all about how things have been going, give you some updates on what's happening around the store, and really just saying howdy. So as you're joining on, you can feel free to answer questions. I'll try to do my best to read and answer at the same time. But I see Dave is joining us. Dave, who's Nitrous Diecast, we were actually just talking about you today at the store. I had a surprise, I had a visit from friend Bob the Bottle Man, who saw my last video where I pulled 450 bottles out of an old barn. So if you see some pictures on Bob's Facebook page or his Instagram, you'll know that he made a little visit to the shop.
I'm back.
That was fast. Was it Heather?
It was Heather.
Okay,
yeah, she's coming on live. I'm like, I was
there we go. I'm going to move the camera over so you can see you too.
I gotta find us now.
So I see some folks that are local, Wetaskiwin, Kansas City. Lots of people saying hello from Sydney, Australia. What time is it in Sydney, Australia right now? It's probably morning or something.
Yeah, wait, is it?
It's probably tomorrow.
I think it is tomorrow.
It's got to be tomorrow in Australia.
Isn't it like... Oh, I see. Jasmine's on.
Yes. So, it's 12 p.m. It's midnight there. Well, thanks for being up with us so early or late for us in Australia and all around the world. We had a busy past couple days. Mm-hmm. I got to spend a little time going to I went to a greenhouse. They're doing social distancing. You have to wait in line, stay apart from each other. They let a certain number of people through. But part of the update, I think, is that we are still waiting for our development permit to come through. We don't have it yet, by the way.
Ugh.
So we're still waiting for the development permit to come through.
It'll all come through when it's meant to come through. It'll be fine.
No, it needs to come through now.
Well, what if it's tomorrow?
Well, that would be fine.
It's funny because what's the gentleman's name again? Rob, or that's keeping track of like the... Oh no, that's the guy for the cement, right?
What are you talking about?
You know, the person that usually is on here, like our contractor that...
That's Sean.
Sean, yeah.
Yeah, Sean. I don't know
a lot of the people in our lives are named Sean. You would think that I would know.
We have a Sean that works for us, and we have a Sean who we hired temporarily to help us out with the zoning and permits and so forth. Yep. So we might see him on from Skull Hall.
Dave said
It'd be nice to get... Yeah, that's Dave's stepson.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
See? So this is how we are. One of you out there watching, Dave specifically, saw that we had a need for somebody to do drafting. He recommended his stepson, who happens to be a drafter, and now we hired them, and there you go. That's how this community works. We try and support each other in the best way we can. But I am really hoping and eagerly awaiting this permit so we can get started. We're supposed to be pouring concrete in just a couple weeks, but we have been kind of delayed. That said, we are... right now, actually, as we speak, I allowed somebody from the metal detecting club to go and metal detect our yard.
Again?
Yeah, again. So we had young Matt go through.
Yeah.
And while I was at the store today, we had a gentleman come through whose name is James from the Edmonton Metal Detecting Club. And Matt said, all I found was he found a silver ring and he found some pennies and he's like, that's it. Well, James is out there for probably 30 minutes and he comes back in with like a handful of change going back to the 40s, like silver dimes and stuff, and I'm like, what?
You know, whoever's out there that might be watching from this club, you should so bring something with you and be like, look what I found in the backyard.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, I'm happy. Like at the end of the day, he found probably like $1 worth of change. He's there. So this is the story about James, and he's not watching right now because he's there with his significant other. His fiance is also a metal detecting enthusiast, and guess how they met?
Metal detecting?
Metal detecting club.
Wow.
And so I said...
most obvious thing.
I said, so did you have to find each other's rings?
I thought you were going to say he found her ring. Wow, I'm having trouble talking.
Okay, now, I didn't propose in the best of ways when I proposed to you, because I didn't even have a ring.
Didn't matter to me, I still got him.
But if we met in the metal detecting club, I would have buried my ring and been like, why don't you check over there near that slightly disturbed dirt pile? And she'd be like, a ring! But then you'd probably be like, I'm gonna sell this sucker for stacks of cash. And I'd be like, what? No. Will you marry me? Or I'd be like down on one
That
knee.
sounds like me. I'm gonna sell this for stacks of cash.
Yeah, that's her all day long making it rain.
What?
Okay.
Oh my
So
gosh.
anyway, I said that she said no, he bought me a ring, and I said I thought it would be more romantic if you met in a metal detecting group and you got engaged. Wouldn't it be romantic to go around and metal detect until you found a ring that worked? I thought that would be cool.
Yeah, unless you lost it.
Yeah.
We've had, I had a ring one time that we put in the grass because we were looking for a ring. And I said, you know what, it's pretty hard to see. Literally tossed it right in front of a group of us. We never found that ring again.
I should take the metal detector and go find it.
I don't know where it is now. It was at Mom's, I think. Now I don't even remember where it was. So
Yeah. So
not
anyway,
the smartest thing I've ever done.
they are there right now as a couple metal detecting my yard, and I'm fine with that because the way I look at it, they are spending quality time together.
Yeah, outside and it's nice.
It's nice, it's fresh air. They're falling just a little bit more in love.
Did they watch the channel?
This is where I'd insert like the sounds of like harps and stuff. Yeah, they watch the channel. They're gonna watch this later and then find out that I was talking about them. The other thing, because Steven said, well, how come shouldn't we be there if they're metal detecting our yard? I'm like, that's fine. I said, Steven, honestly, if they find something really cool, I hope that they'd be like, we kind of found a sack full of diamonds.
Yeah.
You wouldn't find that with a metal detector anyway. With a diamond detector, maybe. I don't know.
A diamond detector.
Yeah, you know, a diamond. No, I don't know. Anyway, but I thought it was really good that they were getting out. And also, it takes your mind off of everything that's going on right now. So I thought that was pretty good. Anyway, where was I going with this? People are metal detecting the yard. And the reason I'm trying to get the yard metal detected, see, it all is full circle. The reason why I wanted them to go and do that now is because in a couple weeks' time, we're supposed to be getting a concrete pad poured. And once that pad is down and a building goes up, it's probably going to be years and years and years before anybody metal detects that yard ever again. So I figured this is the time to let some people from the club go and have some fun, and maybe they'll find something historically significant. You never know, right?
I think Bob's on, or Greta's just really excited about Bob.
Oh, Bob Harder is probably on right now. So I'll say hi to Bob. And Bob, it was nice seeing you today. Let's see. I'm just trying to read some of it. Somebody bought themselves a 64 Cadillac as well. That's pretty cool. You could have bought mine. That would have gotten me one leg up on my station wagon. Incidentally, for those of you that were asking, it's not that I don't like the Cadillac. I like it a bunch. It's a really cool car. But I use it like a truck. And I don't want to have a truck because I like the idea of having a back seat in case somebody else needs to come with me for a drive. So I don't really want a truck because I want to make sure there's more seats back there. And I want to have a station wagon instead so that it's like driving a classic car, but you got lots of room. Anyway, I need to find a station wagon.
Oh, it says.
Somebody watching in the Edmonton or Alberta area, I don't want to have to do an out-of-province inspection. For us, if you buy a vehicle that's currently on the road here, you can just insure it, essentially, and start driving it. Bob says, how about a hearse? I thought about that, Bob, but I already have an ambulance, and I don't want to be driving something really ridiculous as my daily driver. Just somewhat ridiculous. Like the Cadillac is ridiculous. Like, you shouldn't be driving an old car all year round.
It's not ridiculous. I forgot, like, it gets as many, like, calls and people, like, doing the, like, thumbs up and stuff. I was actually surprised. Like, for me, it's kind of just, I mean, we've had old cars for a long time, so for me, it's normal to have an older car. The Ghostbuster car I am at, it's like driving around like your own personal parade. It's a little weird.
Yeah, so we bought that little Austin van, which I sold, and the reason why I sold it is that it did freeway speed barely. It felt like you were sitting in a steamer trunk and being pushed down a hill with no brakes. Like it was like, ah! It was, okay, I shouldn't say that. If you're driving around at normal speeds, like, 30 to 50 miles per hour, you're fine. Or around 60 to 70 kilometers an hour, you're okay. But I needed something that would do highway speed. I need something that is big enough that I could take it on big adventures when I go on the highway. So anyway, I have my mindset on seeing, trying to find like a mid-sized station wagon of some kind, like an old Ford Falcon wagon, or, Charlie has that Ford Frontenac wagon. That would actually be perfect if I could get that. Next time we go to the farm, I'm going to go look at that car.
We don't have a holiday today. It's just the States, right? Is it the States has Memorial Day?
Yeah, we don't have Memorial today.
No.
It was a normal day today.
Yeah.
But But what's interesting is that you guys know, maybe some of you know, maybe some of you don't, that my bucket list car that I want to get back again is a E-Type Jag. We had one. We had a 1969 XKE. We had a 2+2, and it was a rust-free, nice car, and I sold it because we needed money. As you often sell things because you'd rather have the money than the thing. That's how the selling of things work. And I always kind of regretted selling it. Well, I listened to my messages at the store today, and the guy who bought the car watched the channel. Apparently, he's been watching my Rolls Royce restoration videos, and he said, I was watching these videos, and I thought you looked familiar, and then I realized you're the guy I bought my E-Type from. And he left on the message, I still have it. So maybe,
What?
wink, wink, I can
Wink,
convince
wink,
him
nudge,
to buy
nudge.
my old car back, the one that got away. He's got plenty of cars. He's got a Rolls Royce too.
Maybe he needs another.
Maybe he's me from the future. What?
Hey, John.
Maybe he's me from the future, and I did buy the car back, and the Rolls is now done because we have like the same exact vehicles, but he's older than me.
Lisa said, Jakota is buffering, so here I am. Hey, Lisa. It's okay. Jakota goes on for a while.
Yeah. Well, we just wanted to really chat.
Oh, is our chat freezing?
So, we are right now basically selling off a lot of our things, the extra cars, as much inventory as I can. We're auctioning stuff off. I'm raising money to put a cement pad in because it's going to be $18,000 roughly to get the cement pad poured. It had to be an engineered pad, and right now I don't have that saved up. So we're going to save up some money. We're going to get that done. But I'm hoping that by selling off a few cars and selling some stuff off, we'll be able to get that pad poured. And then I think once the pad is poured, I don't think framing and the rest of the materials are that expensive to make it a lockable building. It's just all the finish work that'll get pricey once we start to get heat and the drywall and the finishing done. But yeah, it's a big bill to have right now, considering I've been shut down for 2 months, but I really didn't want to put our dreams on hold. And every time I look at that empty lot that's next to the store, I think about how much it's going to be great to have the extra space, but also that it's going to add to the potential resale of that property down the road. So it's not really money lost, it's money invested into the property. But it meant that I had to sell some toys. It meant that the Alfa Romeo was sold. The little red Alfa is sold and paid for. The BMW Isetta is gone.
Well, it's
No, okay,
sold.
it's paid for. It's getting picked up on Friday. So
Hi, Mom.
I still have all these cars in my garage right now. And I was kind of bummed out. I was thinking, oh, I had to sell off all my old cars. And I was thinking, oh, wait, I still have a somewhat finished Rolls Royce convertible that we will be able to sell or do something with eventually. And I still have the Cadillac. But at the end of the day, I just want to have a nice garage next to the shop, a nice little building there that we can expand the business into, and a cool old station wagon to drive all year round. And I kind of wish we had a 57 Ford Fairlane station wagon about 5 years ago that was in perfect condition. And had a couple minor problems.
I can't even remember which car that is.
If I went, would that ring any bells of what happened with that car? No? Wow. See, this is, Melissa she doesn't keep track of my cars, which is good. The 57 Ford Fairlane station wagon was a rust-free one-owner car. It had one minor problem. So at some point, somebody had plugged the gas tank, and when I pulled it into the driveway, I hit a bump, and the entire full tank of gas,
yeah.
Now it rings a bell, emptied into the snow in front of our house. We tried our best to contain it.
Well, we did. It was winter, so we did contain it.
We did. We built kind of like a berm, but we didn't want it to go down the drain. So we called the fire department. We phoned
non-emergency
311 or whatever it was, and they said that they would send a truck. So
I said, I just want to make sure that we're disposing of this correctly because we had it under control, but I wanted to be responsible and make sure that we were doing everything that we were meant to do.
Yeah.
Well, do you want to continue with what showed up at our house?
Yeah, like a couple fire trucks showed up at the house.
And there were like 3?
There was at least 2 with their sirens on. It's not like it wasn't like that bad of an emergency. It was like we spilled gas.
Not just 2 fire trucks.
No, one of them was the fire. Apparently, I didn't know this. The fire department has a truck on their crew that's pretty much just all flood lamps. It looks like a fire truck.
What do they call it? It's like a hazmat truck or something.
Whatever it was, It looked like a fire truck, and it pulled in front of our house at like 10 o'clock at night.
Pitch black.
With all the lights going and stuff. So
Yeah.
everybody in our whole neighborhood was like looking out their windows, what's going on?
Yeah.
And then, not as if that wasn't enough, as if
Yeah.
that wasn't enough to have a fire truck pull up to your house. You know, nobody's injured. It's a gas tank sprung a leak. Anyway, so they pull up, and then like some kind of weird robot transformer.
These big, huge lights come up.
Yeah.
Over top.
Giant overhead flood lamps emerge like the Kraken emerging from the sea to swallow
There
a
was
ship.
no warning that we may never see ever again. Not
Yeah.
to look directly at the
Then
truck.
they just blast it on. So this whole thing, they pull up in the fire trucks, like 2 or 3, I don't know. I want to say there was
There
at
was
least
more than 3. There was
100. Let's just say 100
okay,
fire
100
trucks pulled up.
That sounds right.
There was probably 2 or 3 fire trucks.
And this hazmat truck, like.
And then so the guys get out, and you'd think that with all that, whoa.
Oh no, it's called something else. It's not called hazmat. That's the suit.
Yeah.
It's something else.
It was something that showed up. But the guys get out like as casual as can be. So what's going on? Like they get all the lights, boom, and then they get out of the truck like they're walking into the store to buy a Twinkie. Like
It was so bright that my backyard looked like daylight, and it was pitch black outside.
Yeah.
My backyard looked like daylight.
yeah, and so their solution was, yeah, it's not that much gas. You just throw some snow on it, and then
Yeah.
they walked away.
No, they scooped it up and took it.
Oh yeah, they took some. They threw some of their Absorball stuff
They're
on
like,
it.
no, you guys did a good job. But we just want to make sure, because we have a drain at the end of our driveway that goes to our pond, our overflow pond. So
Hey, did you notice that shortly after that, both of our next door neighbors sold their houses and moved away?
no, they both put them up for sale. But
They did both put them up for sale.
It's so true. These ones actually did move, but our other neighbors, they decided they just loved us too much. They couldn't leave us. They're still there.
Was that the real deal? I don't
Of
know.
course, we are kind of awesome.
Felt pretty bad. Now I'm
pretty
starting
awesome,
to
too.
realize that this might be the reason why people always write and they're like, I wish I was your neighbors. I'd see all kinds of cool stuff. Oh, you'd see stuff all right. You'd see stuff that would make you want to sell your house. No way.
There's been some crazy stuff we've done in the backyard that I'm sure they wonder. Like one time, my sister-in-law and we had to make a volcano, and we were making it with like spray foam and stuff. But it says it could explode, and we'd never used it before, so we used like big hoodies and squished it down so there's only this much face, and then goggles, and we were going outside. It was so disappointing when it just was like nothing.
Yes, there's been some weird stuff. Like that was an accident. The gas tank was an accident.
Yeah.
That was not my fault. And we called. We were appropriate. It's not like I swept it down the drain. We called somebody. We made sure it didn't go into the water, into
Yeah, that
the
would've been
water
awful
runoff.
if
We were responsible.
Yeah.
Was it a little bit off-putting for our neighbors? Probably, since they both put their houses up for sale shortly after. That's not a lie. Now I'm starting to feel bad.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm glad that that was probably the reason why I took the car in to get the gas tank fixed, and I sold it because I probably had the bad memory. It left a bad taste in my mouth but I wish I had it back because that car would have been perfect. It would have been exactly what I wanted. But anyway, it's gone. I am going to share a story of something disturbing that happened in my backyard. There was this theory on the internet at the time, and I don't know if it's true, that if a lady was expecting
Oh yeah.
and
Didn't we share this before?
no, and it was Drano. If you took some Drano,
Don't do this, you guys. Don't do it.
does anybody know where I'm going with this?
Let's just say 2 words. Mustard gas.
Okay, I'm going to tell you what happened. So, the idea was you put some drain cleaner, like the
It's called Drano.
yeah, it's Drano, but it wasn't the liquid stuff. It was like the
powder.
powdery Drano
Yeah.
that you put in. You put that into a cup, and if a lady adds her,
Her pee.
yes, I was trying to think of a gentle way of putting it. Her lady.
What? It's
Her lady liquid droppings. Does that sound any
Well,
better?
that could be a lot of different things.
Okay. If you think you're pregnant, the idea was you put Drano crystals, a girl would pee in the cup, and if it
No, you have to add it separately because
You put the
very
Drano in,
quickly
yeah.
there's a reaction. So
And
you do not want to have your butt
But
over
what
top
was
of
it? The
this.
smoke would turn a color or something?
So
would
the
happen?
first flash of color that you saw represented if you were having a boy or girl. For the record, before I had to look away and see if my eyebrows were still
Okay,
there.
I have to tell the rest of this. Okay,
Okay, go
because
ahead.
you're going to give away the ending.
Yeah, okay.
So what she's not telling you is that it was winter. she was nervous about it. We had company over.
Yeah, that same sister-in-law was here.
We had our
Did we
sister-in-law
have, was
Chantel
Sarah
over.
here too?
I don't know. There was people here. Oh,
Yeah.
thank you, Glenn. Appreciate that. So,
My Drano story.
anyway,
That was a tip.
they're like, we don't want to do it because it's cold outside. So you take this cup and this cup and
Oh,
pour them
you
together.
guys, if you're watching, don't you worry. I see what he's saying, how we talk.
Yeah. It was like this, it's cold outside, pretty please. And I'm like, this is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life. And so I'm like, what am I supposed to do? So they gave me like a red Solo cup or a paper
No,
cup.
it wasn't
It was a
plastic.
paper cup.
No, because it would have completely melted. It was like, it was in a jar or metal for sure.
It was in something anyway. So they gave me the container with the Drano and I went out there. This is how much you have to love your wife to hold a container of her urine.
Or sprinkle.
This is her sprinkle. Anyway.
Oh my god.
So I'm like, this is stupid. I don't think I need to know if it's a boy or a girl that badly. But aren't you glad you joined the live feed today? And it's not like I stopped it and I was like, where did I put my apple juice? What? That didn't happen. Anyway, so I took them outside and I look over and they're all at the window like this. They're all like looking to see what's going on. So they all, like a whole company, a house full of people are looking out the window at me and I'm like, this is ridiculous. So I put the cup down with the Drano pellets in it and I'm like, whatever. And I pour the pee into it and I'm like, whatever. And before you knew it, it was like,
I put the Drano into the.
no, you made me mix it out there.
You went and took care of it after because I left it on the deck.
Oh, it was brutal.
But it was like, because I remember the reaction. Your hair, like literally there is a heat, there is a heat gust that comes off of that immediately. So you need to get your face, do not do this. Don't do it, period. But if you do not put your face over top to look for the color if it's a boy or a girl, because you might just lose your eyeballs. It was.
Yeah, you'll never know.
But I had it on the deck and then I poured it in, but it was still on the deck. And then what happened? And then Alexander went to go take care of it because it was smoking.
It became a real problem in a real hurry. I know this much. And so I dealt with it.
Oh my gosh.
But the container got so hot that there was like a nuclear blast. It was like Einstein probably invented the bomb based on peeing into Drano. And he's like, well, that's pretty potent. Anyway, it left it burnt the paint off of our deck in a perfect hole of the container.
It wasn't paint, it was like 3 layers of stain, leached it out of our deck.
Many layers of stain were removed from the deck.
Oh my gosh.
To this day, stain will still not adhere properly. And when the sun hits it just right, you can see the circle. And I'm reminded of the day when my wife tried to kill me with her pee.
Yeah.
But
well, that was like 11 years ago now.
I'm still not over it. I'm still not over it. Not only did I have to deal with...
like, so somebody said, but was it right? I think it was right. But I mean, you're looking at it and then all of a sudden the comes. So I mean,
okay.
It was a 50-50 chance anyway.
Your kids get that, science experiment to build the volcano. Like, this is what made me think of it.
Yeah.
Use that. That'll get a reaction out of the crowd for sure. It'll burn the whole school. Actually, don't do it. That'd be a horrible idea.
It was a bad reaction, you guys. I don't recommend it. And then on top of it, I mean, I was pregnant. And then you've got like a very serious gas happening. Oh yeah, that's why you went to go take it out, care of it, because there was so much smoke coming off of this. You didn't want me breathing in the fumes. And
Yeah. It was great. It was so much fun to deal with.
Seriously, there wasn't even that much of either of the components. And it caused such a huge heat wave to like when you open up the stove and you go in too soon before that initial heat gust comes out.
Oh, I'm aware of that. I had that when I tried to light those sticks on fire at Mom's farm and blew myself up.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Hey, Matthew, we stole you.
Actually, last week, I'm still regrowing the hair on my hand because I was using a little bit of gas in a carburetor in one of my cars. Well, yes.
You did it again.
I was trying to start a car and it wasn't starting and anyway, it backfired and I got a free exfoliating, the heat just blasted all the hair off my hand. So I had that. The smell of burning hair and you're like, oh, it's like extra fuzzy now. Anyway, that was still better than being scorched and your stinky baby nonsense that was out here.
Somebody said I guess the comments are already gone, but I did read it. They said that we should have vlogged it. Have another baby.
No, we're good. The next babies that come in this house are gonna be grandbabies many years from now.
We didn't die unless we're ghosts.
Yeah.
We didn't die. I know. I say, but did you die?
What was I talking about? Oh, I was talking about did we get Sean on yet? Is Sean from Skill Hall Drafting on yet? I don't see if Sean's on yet or not.
I see Randy, Pigtooth, Ada.
Anyway.
Samish.
Somebody said, did I put a bunch of Lionel trains in the auction the past 2 cents? No, that was somebody else. I saw those too.
Oh yeah, I saw. Sorry, John. I saw you ask that earlier, and I completely forgot.
I'm guessing he likes Train because his name is John Train. Or he legally changed his last name to Train. Or he's part of many bridal parties.
Going. So Dave said his chat keeps freezing. Mine isn't freezing. If you do notice on anybody's live feed, if they start to freeze, sometimes you just have to push the refresh button in the top and reload it. But sometimes you get stuck with a commercial.
Hi, Alexandria. Thank you for joining us. So anyway, the moral of this story before we got into the...
Don't pee in Drano.
Don't pee into Drano.
Yeah.
I wonder if we tried that in our drains. That would have melted all of our pipes probably.
Yeah, because it's like plastic piping now.
Yeah. Anyway, if you're just joining us now, you'll have to rewatch the first bit and understand that we somehow got into a really off the rails conversation for a little bit.
Did you get
there.
the picture of Bill's sticky fingers that I sent you?
That was you? Yeah, I looked at it and I'm like, yep, that's the place. I remember that place. We were talking about it because I was saying that it was a really good rib restaurant in this small town that I used to go to every once in a while.
Anything new with Hans?
Hans is actually now, well, he's busy. He's trying to get a corporate logo put up on his vehicle, and he's asked Steven to design his corporate logo. So Steven's going to do it. I thought, my suggestion was, you know when you see it makes me laugh, but you know how when you see like a drawing of Medusa has all the crazy hair? I thought you could do that with Hans's beard and have it like the sunburst from his beard. But Steven's like, huh. So I think he's got some other kind of thing.
Like the Josh, huh?
That's what Steven does to me now. Steven is like a mini Josh. He's like, huh.
Yeah.
Anyway. I'm seeing Josh tomorrow. We're going to be socially distant from each other, but I'm taking Josh on one of my adventures with me. Because if you recall the other day, I went out to the farm that was full of scrapyard goodness. I actually didn't load everything into the vehicle on that day of what I bought. That's where I got the 450 bottles from, and the old cowboy bathtub, and the gasoline pump sign. And for the record, 95% of that stuff sold within 48 hours. I'm just down to a few bottles. That's pretty much it. Everything else sold. So I figured since I had such a good run selling that first batch of stuff, well, I best go back out and do another round. But this time I'm bringing Josh with me because I asked if he would let Josh pick through his scrap pile bin and maybe find some stuff that he could craft or do arts with. And he said, yeah. So I'm going to take Josh out there. Plus, if I end up buying that old tire machine in the back, which I'm going to try and dig out.
I heard you mention it.
I know. Well, how often do you find a 1920s tire machine sitting in a shop? Like,
I mean, for most of us, probably never. But for you, I bet that's not even your first one that you've seen.
We used to own one, actually.
Yeah, see?
we had one before.
Would you make sure to put the email in your video description? You should just be putting it in there because then people can find it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they can just Google us and it comes up too. But did somebody said, did I sell all the bottles from a couple days ago? Like 90% of the bottles sold. A lot of times when I do a big buy like that, I don't want to deal with, my store is like kind of nice and at a good capacity right now. And until I get this other building put up, I don't want to overdo it in the shop. So my store is at a nice level right now, which means that when I do a buy like that, I pretty much am only wanting to keep maybe 5% of it. The things I would have kept out of that lot would have been some of the oil cans, some of the better bottles, and the gasoline globe off the gas pump.
Do you still have a Calgary bottle?
Yes, Dave, I kept one for you. It's at
That's
the
who's
store.
asking. Raymond, thank you. And he said, how's the card going? And Canada does not do Memorial Day. We have Remembrance Day. I think we all have Remembrance Day.
Yeah, that's in November though.
Yeah.
But no, we don't celebrate Memorial Day here. But we're glad for you guys having an opportunity to reflect and have some time together.
I remember.
What I was chatting about was the mission with a big buy like that is that this is what'll happen. I'll go there and buy the stuff, and you see the video of me buying things. After I load it up, I'll typically make a phone call to a few customers that I have that are either fellow dealers or collectors or people that I know are interested in that. So the Gas Pump Globe, I posted on an oil and gas Facebook webpage because I knew it was kind of rare and I didn't really know what they were going for. And within minutes, I had offers on it. And so that sold right away. With all the other stuff, the bottles and some of the oil cans, I kept back some of the things I thought were a little bit better for myself. And the rest of it, I just took as a lump sum and sold to another dealer that has more of a capacity to hold and store some of the more cluttery type things that I don't have room for at the shop. So for me, I got out of that deal. I got all my money back. I made some profit and we're clean and the store looks good. And I kept some nice shiny bottles, which I sold a few to Bob today. So it's really a nice way to do business when you can just move things along quickly. But we still have to make sure that we keep things in the store. I forgot to mention too, that after I unloaded all of those bottles and the stuff to my friend who's an antique dealer, I drove directly to another friend's house and picked up a ride-on kiddie boat from the 1950s, which looks like a Chris Craft, and it's coin operated, and it does this. Oh, it probably does more like this.
I'm
You know, it'd be in front of an old general store or a grocery store. I scared my wife away.
I had it. No more.
Where's she going? Oh, she went to go get a pillow.
I'm just widow.
Oh, I see. You want to sit at a different level.
Yeah, I was sitting on my foot, but it's starting to hurt.
The bowl. Somebody said, "I hate that the bowl bank broke," but the bowl. Oh, thank you, Amanda Stevenson too. We see that you sent us a nice little message there. The bowl bank. I was gently rocking it back and forth to get the change to drop out of it, and a little piece of plaster. It was just plaster. I gave him the pieces, so I guess you could glue it back on. And it was the type that didn't have a plug. It was the type of piggy bank that I guess you'd fill it right up and then smash it with a hammer once you were ready.
I see Heather.
Yeah. Hi, Heather. Nice to see you. So back to the farm tomorrow to see what other items I can try and find. And maybe I'll be able to dig out some cool stuff. I know that when I was in there, I was sitting on top of good stuff because it was so full and so packed that I know there had to be good stuff in there. The other thing I want to get is that they had a bunch of, not the 1950s doors covered in pigeon poo. Those were gross. I want one of the 1920s doors covered in pigeon poo that was around the corner because we need to get a new old front door for the new store. Because I don't want to have a normal door on the store.
Don't we already have an old door on the store?
We have an old door on our current store, but I want to get another old door. Maybe I'll just look for it. The
Who's
reason
that?
I left it there is
that Stephen Dwalls?
yeah,
Yes, it is.
that's our son Steven who's there.
Hi.
Yeah, he's talking to us from the other side of the
So,
table.
what kind of door is it? Like made out of wood? Wood?
Yeah. I'm
But
just,
if it's covered in pigeon poop,
it could be washed, I know, but the reason I didn't go crazy buying one of those doors, A, they were really loaded. I would have had to have taken all of them out to get to the one I wanted. And B, when I looked at the one that I wanted, it had been repaired many, many times. So it was kind of in rough shape.
do you have any bottles left?
Yeah, I've got probably like 100 bottles left at the store. I kept all the ones I thought were a little bit different, like the Capital City, the Vermilion, like bottles that I don't see very often. I kept all the ones that were slightly more rare.
There's Scott. Scott was waiting till the store was open to buy come and see the bottles.
Oh, yeah. Well,
There's still some.
Bob just showed up while I was there doing other stuff today. Yeah, but
We have the store will be set up so that there'll be like one direction traffic for both ways, and then we have the plexiglass.
oh, was somebody asking what we're doing?
Right now?
Yeah, hand sanitizer, one-way aisles,
Oh, yeah.
plexiglass screen,
No,
social
nobody's
distancing.
asking. I'm just saying.
Oh, I see. You're just giving information. Yeah.
I'm just spewing out all the knowledge.
Yeah. So we've been, I guess it's been, just a busy couple days. I took another load of stuff to auction. A pile of those books that I bought the other day from that book haul, I took a whole ton of them to auction to thin that collection out a fair bit.
Scott said, I've been by 2 days in a row. I'm just assuming your name is Scott.
Oh,
It
from
said
Skull?
Cal. Oh. It says
Oh, Scott.
Cal.
Oh, I've been by 2 days in a row now. We'll be open officially on June 2nd. Honestly, this is just giving me a chance to go out there and find some new products and get the store clean. Today, I spent a little bit of time redoing the front of the store again, and it's starting to look really good. I showed Steven the inside. He came with me.
Mm-hmm.
We had to swap vehicles. I had to go swap out with the ambulance tonight because I'm going to load up a motorcycle and a quad, which I bought and left out there because I couldn't fit in the vehicle last time.
Bill said I wear a hat with a plexiglass sneeze guard. You know, I feel like
Hi, Matthew.
I feel like it would be like I'm gonna end up getting probably one of those face guards. I'm not sure what's happening with the preschool, but I know it will be me that sneezes in there, and then we're gonna have a whole different problem. Like,
Yeah. Somebody says, have I ever heard of a crew cab truck? Yes, we used to own a crew. Well, we didn't have a crew cab, but we had an extended cab with the back seat. And that was fine. I don't know. I guess I could do a truck again. But the thing with the truck is that a lot of the items I buy need to be covered because they're either going to be books or comics or small things that can't get rained on. So then you've got to get a canopy. Then you got to make sure it locks. And by the time you're all said and done, I'd rather just have, I'm just going to close the windows. Our neighbors are using a saw.
And Randy,
There we go.
Steven's driving all right. He's driving me crazy. You like that?
No, Steven is
He's
driving.
practicing.
We're practicing.
His face. He's like,
Yeah.
what?
I thought you were gonna say drawing.
This is,
Sherry, I'm sending you my email.
there. That's what Steven's doing right now.
Hi.
What is your channel called, Steven?
It's called Stephen Draws.
What do you do on it?
I draw.
What do you draw?
Stuff like animals,
Oh,
photorealistic stuff.
okay.
I just put a video up on
Oh.
Stephen Draws.
There we go. Okay. Da-da-da-da-da-da. That was the Steven Draws plug for the day.
Sherry, I just put my, I think it's Archibald Vlogs at Outlook. Must be. You'd think I'd know my own email. So sad today.
You know, somebody said you need a Vista Cruiser. I like Vista Cruisers just fine. In fact, I knew of a Vista Cruiser that was in Red Deer. And I phoned the guy because he was trying to sell it to me for the last couple of years. And I was like, meh. And now I'm looking for a wagon. I was like, hey, you still got it? And he's like, no, I sold it. Truth be told, this is what I want in a station wagon. This is this is what I want in a station wagon. Probably mid 50s to early to mid 60s. I would like it to be sort of a faded blue. Wood paneling would be nice.
I don't understand how anybody can be talking about a station wagon and do like the magical fingers at the same time.
Melissa doesn't like station wagons. She also doesn't like wood paneling.
It's true.
But let me tell you this.
I like hardwood floors and boats.
And I like hardwood floors bolted on the side of my cars. I like woody wagons.
That's why there's different things for everybody.
Yeah. So Melissa will never want to drive my car also.
No, that's usually the case. So I don't drive Alexandra's cars.
She
I like
doesn't-
my car.
She's unaware of what car we're driving in.
It's true. That's true.
Yeah.
That is my dad though. He completely forgot what vehicle he was in.
Merle Thomas says, don't forget looking for a 1938 Five Roses cookbook.
Oh, I'm glad you said something, Merle. I didn't see it yet, but I was looking at a Five Roses cookbook and I couldn't remember what year you wanted. So
Yeah, what year is the one we had? Oh, it was like 22 or 23.
no, it was older than that.
Oh, 1914 or
I
16?
can't remember now.
We have one
But
that's much older.
I have another one too that I wanted to go check out. I'm gonna go write it down. I'm writing
Okay.
it down.
What I don't like about old cookbooks is they have weird measurements. Like put a small person's hand worth of salt in, or put a smidgen, or put a sniff of pepper. Why don't they use proper measurements? Everything had a weird name back then. They didn't use proper measurements. They were just like, a trifle full of, put an eyeball shot worth of pepper in there. Like, what are you talking about? Put an earful of sugar into the knob full of capful of like, what? Come on now.
An eyeball shot is probably the grossest thing I've heard today. I mean, and I've heard some
Yeah.
crazy things.
First, fill your eyelid with liquid ammonia, and then drop that in while you stir and whisk with your other hand. I don't know.
So gross.
Dollops and yeah.
Merle, I'm gonna get you to email me at Archibald Vlogs.
Melissa's gonna put it
Archibald
in.
Vlogs at Archibald Vlogs at Outlook.com, and just send me your information so that I can, or just email me so that I can get a hold of you when I find it.
Yeah, somebody just said a country squire. Yeah, that would be good. And I saw one yesterday when I was driving by, and it was sitting in a parking lot of a shop, and it was kind of like a light blue color. I want to get a vehicle that is sort of like a turquoisey or light blue because I want it to feel like I'm in a surfing wagon. That's what I want. I want to be driving around in a beach surf wagon. I want to have the little hula girl on the dashboard like we did in our Volkswagen van. That's what I want.
Well, she was kind of a classy hula girl.
Well, we'll get a classy hula girl again, but this is what I'm saying. I want to have a surf wagon. That's what I want.
Don't you worry, Heather. I got you covered. It's
Yeah.
like I know.
So I have to find myself a surf wagon, and I'm even willing to find
We
a.
need the VW van again, like that in the
Ha! We need a Volkswagen van again. It was called a van again. Did you know that you did that?
beach. No,
Oh yeah, we had a van again.
I wish I was.
We need a van again.
But like the one that I like, the more expensive version.
Oh yeah, she wants to like a split window.
Yeah. Why not go?
I can't
all-
drive that in winter though. They're terrible
Have
winter
you
vehicles.
seen what you drive in winter?
Yeah, the Cadillac has an excellent heater. That Cadillac.
I mean, as you're like going towards the ditch, you can be like, at least I'm warm.
No, that car is so heavy it creates its own ditches. That car is so big that when you go around a traffic circle, you have a possibility you might rear end yourself. That car is so big
Oh my
that it
gosh,
has its own
that's
time
better.
zone.
Wait, hold on. Are you just doing it with yo mama jokes?
No, I'm not Yo Mama. Yeah, I guess Yo Mama's so big, she's got her own gravitational pull. No, that's not.
I'm
That's
telling
not
my
what I'm doing.
mama. My mama's on here.
Oh no, my mother-in-law is on. I didn't mean that specifically for you,
Don't
Marlene.
you worry, mom. I'll get him.
Please don't disown me. Oh, Stefan says, say hi to the Viking. Thank you. So this is the deal with the Cadillac. It handles well in winter. It's really roomy. It's got an excellent heater, but I feel guilty stacking it as full as I do. It makes a fine vehicle, but if you saw a video I did a few videos back, I went to that guy's house expecting to find a couple things. I ended up coming back with like thousands of books and all that. And anyway, I had to pick it up that day because they had to bring their nice Rolls Royces back in their garage and they couldn't leave them outdoors. So I had to take the stuff like right then. So I figure if I had just a cool surfing wagon, that's what I want. I want a surfing wagon. Can we make that happen? Somebody have a harp they can edit into this, do-do-do-do-ding, and then magically I look out the window and go, "Look,
That's how
there
it works,
is."
though. That is seriously how I swear it works. All of a sudden, magically, it's going to show up, and they'll be like, but we're saving for a cement pad. And then some sale will happen, and then.
Yeah, or you get your property taxes and you're like,
Yeah,
why?
here's property taxes when you own 4 buildings is a nightmare. I mean, in 2 commercial buildings, I mean, one of them is way worse than the other, but ugh.
So here's another reason why I want a surf wagon.
Surfing wagon.
That's
Still
right.
Going on about
Somebody
that.
said surfing wagon, haha.
It's either just because you call it a surf wagon does not make a station wagon cool.
Yes, it
It's
does.
still a station wagon.
No, it's cool.
It's just
It's more cool.
We're gonna get you a Mr. Rogers sweater.
There's a different. Oh, I already have a Mr. Rogers
So you
sweater.
need to wear that,
I already have Mr. Rogers shoes.
and then your Gilligan hat.
Whatever. Anyway, when you're in a tropical, in the 50s, they had the best colors. Really, the 1950s did have the best colors. Seafoam green. They had these wonderful tropical blues. They had coral, that nice pinky sort of coral color. They had great colors in the 50s that you were like, you just felt happy every time you looked at it. The Cadillac is a subdued, classy shade of blue, and I'm just not a subdued, classy kind of guy. I am a floral shirt, sometimes cowboy music playing,
He has
kind
little
of.
flamingos right now.
Look, I've got flamingos on this shirt.
Hey, we're kind of matching
I need
today.
the car that goes with this shirt. I need the car that goes with my Gilligan hat. I need the car
And it
that
has
goes with...
bicycles on the collar.
There we go. See? I need a little bit more pizzazz.
Hey, Alexander, we're kind of matching today. Other than I have flowers on mine.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Country Squire would be cool. The back row faces out the back door, which is
Ooh,
always cool.
no.
And in some cases, you could roll the window down. Your kids could sit back there with a slingshot, ping, and you'd be like, "What? Who gave those kids a backwards facing seat?" That's probably the reason why they turned them around the other way. Kids were up to no good back there, and the dad would be driving the car. "What are you kids doing back there? What are you chucking out your banana peels out the back window?" And the kid would be like, "No, I'm gonna pull this thing over." My dad told me that he used to sit directly behind my grandpa because he could never reach him behind the seat. If he was like, "What are you kids doing back there?" he could never reach him, so he'd just give up if my dad was like kicking the seat or something. You know, it's true. He's like, "I always sat right behind my dad because he could never get his arm around behind there." Anyway, we need to have some of these adventures with the kids. Not that I plan on beating my children. That's not going to happen. But I do plan on having adventures where we go on in a station wagon. Maybe we go to the lake. And instead of a surfboard, it would be a paddle board on the roof.
Yeah,
We can take that
I
to the
agree.
lake.
Yeah.
There's got to be some fun. You have to have some fun
I
and
don't know if
adventures.
Nikki ever watches these, but she completely got us paddle boarding. Oh my god.
Cattle boarding?
Cattle boarding.
Is that what they do to like secret agents do when they're trying to get answers out of a cow? They cattle board them?
Wow. Oh my gosh.
I don't know where that came from, but
Yeah.
anyway, yeah.
We don't even have water this time.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be with milk.
Oh, the worst was the back window was lowered and you'd get the exhaust in.
So
Gross.
when I went to a scrapyard not far from here a few years ago, there is somebody who has, I think, a 47 Chrysler Town and Country station wagon that needs restoration. It needs a lot of restoration. Like it's deteriorated. Oh no, I think it might even be a Packard Woody wagon. It's really rare, whatever
Where
it
is
is. Out near towards your mom.
Oh.
And they had all kind. I did a video out there where I bought the Fargo swept side truck. They had a lot of really rare cars there.
Oh.
But that wagon was that would be perfect, but I don't want to get into a giant project right now. And I'm not planning on selling my Ecto one. I'm not planning on selling the ambulance. It's still really good for hauling stuff around, but it's not the kind of car you want to drive every day.
No. Unless, it does use a lot of gas, like environmentally and pocket-wise.
It's not just that. It's the equivalent of driving like a parade float with flowers all over it around town everywhere you go. People are like, what? Taking pictures,
Yeah.
and that's good for the business. But sometimes
Not
you just
when you
want
need to get somewhere, though.
Now we need to get somewhere.
The best, though, was when Alex and I needed to get into the next lane, and the person was driving right next to us because they were taking pictures, and we couldn't get into the next lane.
Oh, somebody said the blue, if you're talking about the fountain tire in St. Albert, I called them, and it's a mechanic who owns that car, and they said, ha, 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 not for sale. And it's been sitting there for like 4 or 5 years. I'd be driving it, and I'd be happy. Look, if you're watching Mr. Man, who's a mechanic at the fountain tire, and you have that car that would be perfect for me, and we both know that you do, and you're like, ha, 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 not for sale, and it's been sitting there, think of this face. And you can make this face go to this. All you'd have to do is just have those little keys and hand them over. Anyway, I left my name and number. I said he might change his mind. I should go there. Oh, speaking of which, negotiating tactics. I had a weird negotiating tactic happen the other day, and I'm going to share this with you because it was really strange. We have our other store up for sale right now. You know this.
Well, yes.
She knows this.
I know.
We have the other. Oh, wait.
No,
Willow's
what?
Den says nothing goes with this shirt. I go with this shirt. In fact, it goes with me everywhere I go when I'm wearing it, except when I'm going to the beach. And then sometimes it stays and I go in the water. But other than that, I have my store up for sale right now. And a guy calls me up and he says, I want to see your building. I'm like, oh, okay, sure. I guess I can do that. I don't know why I didn't go through my realtor, but he saw I had it listed for rent and he's like, I decided I want to go and see you. So cool. Okay. We go. So I go and he pulls up in a fairly new Ford F-250 truck. And I'm like, okay, this is cool. If he's watching, please know that I'm sharing this story because I admire your chutzpah. I admire your tactics enough that I'm sharing them here because it was unique. So we look at the building. He's like, measuring stuff, and you know what you do when you look at a building. You're like, I wonder if I could wear like 5 top hats at the same time walking through this doorway as he's putting the measuring tape up. So anyway, he's measuring stuff. That's what I assume he was measuring it for. I wonder how many top hats I could have on top of my head, or if I'm juggling 5 juggling balls at the same time, or I need 10-foot ceilings. Oh, look what you do over there. Anyway, so he's measuring things, and he says, I'm interested in your space. I'm like, well, that's great because I'm interested in selling it. And I said, what type of business are you in? And he said, I don't know yet. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, that's very, that's very roundabout way of saying I either don't want to tell you or I shouldn't tell you. I don't know what it was. But you think that if you're going to buy a building, you would have some kind of idea what you're going to use it for. Like, I fix sewing machines. I don't know. There's one guy. I'm opening up a vacuum store. Good luck with that. I hear the business sucks right now. She puts up with this a lot. Anyway, so he didn't want to tell me what he did for a living. And we're asking, I think we have it listed like 280,000 Canadian. So he says, I've got $100,000 in my truck right now. And I'm like, well, that's nice. Actually, you know what I said? I said, that's not enough. And then he's like, you want to see it? And I'm like, well, I don't want to see $100,000. I should have been like, yeah, you seem like you're lying. I don't know. He's like, I've got a trunk with $100,000 in it right now. First off, who carries $100,000 cash in like a suitcase or a trunk?
Would have had to maybe lean really far into the trunk to look for it.
Maybe he's like, and there's some puppies in there too. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, really? And then he kidnaps me. That didn't happen. clearly I'm still here. But so he said, I've got $100,000 cash. And I'm like, well, that's not enough. He's and I'm like, you need to come back with more. So he's like, well, what's it gonna take to buy it? And I'm like, well, more than that. I mean, we're asking too. Yeah, I said I'm not willing to take that kind of loss on. He's like, you're lucky I'm making any kind of offer in this market. And I'm like, it's not gonna be like this forever.
Yeah. We're lucky. Okay.
So
That's so funny. That's what he said. You didn't throw in that part before.
yeah, he's like,
People
you're
are
lucky I'm making an offer because it's a really slow market right now. And I'm like, yeah, it's true, but it's not gonna stay like that forever. And I'm not willing to like just drop it by more than half.
Yeah. And anytime we're talking money, we're speaking Canadian because we're in Canada.
Yeah, 100,000. So he's got $100,000. I'm like, well, that's sketchy for starters. Then he wouldn't
Well,
tell me
you
what type
never
of
know.
business he was in.
Well, I mean, maybe somebody would have been like, whew, thank goodness, and taken it. Man.
Maybe he's like, I own a very advanced printing press. But you might want to let those dry a little bit before you cash them. But
Wow.
it's like in the Goonies when they're like, $50 bill, $50 bill. And it's like, we're rich. And they were not. It was the Fratellis. The Fratellis were making, maybe he was a Fratelli. Maybe I did enter I loved the Goonies so much as a kid. I might have almost entered into a Goonies situation. I would have been like, I'll come back later when you guys have shut down the old restaurant by the lake, and then I'll see. It was by the ocean.
Oh,
Anyway.
somebody said they bought a hoodie on April 4th and they're still waiting. I think that's just with all mail because I bought something from Old Navy and it was supposed to be 4 to 5 business days and it took a whole entire month. One whole month. And only one piece came, so I think it's just mail.
Somebody said, if you took the $100,000 cash, what would you do with it? Well, first off, I would roll around in it for a while and catch all the diseases.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
Yay! And I'd sprinkle it. And Melissa would be like, this is the man I married.
You'd be like, you are not.
No, I don't
You would
know.
have to like stay at the store for 3 days and quarantine.
I'd have to go to the bank with it, obviously, and then because I have to pay off the mortgage that's on it.
Well, that wouldn't even pay off the. It's
No,
not
it
a
wouldn't
mortgage,
even
it's
pay off a business loan.
Yeah, business loan.
Yeah, so it wouldn't even be enough to pay off the business loan we have on the thing.
No.
But they'd be like, this is random, you're coming in. I'd be like, yeah, that's how the guy paid. And hopefully he wouldn't be like, don't tell them where it came from and just slide the keys on it. Anyway, needless to say, he said, when I told him it wasn't enough money, he said, I'll call you on Monday. Well, guess what? It's Monday, and guess who didn't call?
I don't know where I thought it was going. I'm listening to you, but I wasn't expecting that.
He didn't call. So
Oh my gosh.
somewhere, I wonder if he like does that, like if he goes like A&W or McDonald's, he's like, I know you want $10 for that hamburger meal, but I've got bang, you want to see it? And they're like, that's not how this works. Is that how this works? Yeah, go to the Gap and be like, no, you got these pants on for $29.99 for boot cut, but I got $12 in nickels in like a suitcase. And they're like, whoa, I've never seen so many nickels before in my life. And they're like swimming in the nickels on the counter. And he's like, this works every time. Just take a stack of way under the amount of cash or nickels and you get
I
whatever
feel
you
like
want.
though, for people to do that, it did work for him at some point.
It
right?
must
Like,
have. I mean, I was just like, well, that's not enough. It's like, yeah. I want $100 for this. Well, I've got $1 in my pocket. Well, that's a good down payment. That's what I always think. Like when you're asking, when people online send you those ridiculous lowball offers, you know, when you post something on an online forum or like a web page or something, you're like, I'm selling my 1998 Subaru. I'm asking 5,000, and then all they send you is like $1,000. Like that's all they send you. Like what am I supposed to do with that? Like you're asking $5,000, are you offering 1,000? Are you telling me how much money you own?
You know what's funny is that for some reason people will generally ask Alexander for deals. And
Well,
then
that's fine if they're within reason.
Yeah, within reason, a deal is a deal. Because I kind of expect a deal for most, I mean, not at a clothing store or something or the grocery store. If I buy 2 milk is one half price. But at the same time, generally if people come, we have Kijiji in Canada rather than Craigslist or whatever the sales thing is there. But
We have Craigslist too. We just
Do
don't
we?
use it. Yeah, of course we do. We just don't use it very much.
I use it so little that I didn't even know it was in Canada. But we have somebody comes here and Alexander will be like, we can't go under this price. They don't even ask for a deal. One time somebody said, do you have change for this? I'm like, no, but I don't mind taking more. And they're like, okay. And I seriously.
Is that at a garage sale?
No, it was here for the car. Remember somebody came to buy the
Oh,
car and they brought too much money and I didn't have change. And they're like, all right. And he said, well, what did you get for it? I'm like, I actually got more than what we were asking. He's like, what?
Yeah, I don't know how she does it. Melissa's a really good negotiator.
I must have the mum face. Like, You agreed to $50. Why would you think it's any less than $50? We had an agreement here.
I go the other direction of the store, sometimes to my own deficit, where people come in and they don't ask for a deal, and sometimes like, oh, I guess, you know, your kids can pick out some suckers, or I like to throw extra stuff in because I feel like I should be more giving with the things that I do. So I'm not saying I'm not willing to negotiate. If that guy came with like, I don't know, a lot more money in his
A
suitcase.
reasonable, I mean, it's like for anybody, when you're selling somebody something and somebody offers you
It's when it's
some crazy
unreasonable.
amount. Yeah.
Yeah, those ads are the best. $5,000 for my car, $1,000. Are we just naming random numbers now? Okay, $5.43. That's an odd number. How about that? We'll see if that works. Yeah, anyway. So I have not sold the other building yet. For those of you that have the other missing half of that 100,000, you should connect, you should join forces and become one unit and then come and see me. I would love to get that building sold.
Yeah.
And just,
I mean, it would be nice to not have it sitting empty as well, just to have it,
yeah.
you know, being used for something.
It's not even a money-making venture. I just don't want to be paying a mortgage anymore on another building. Yeah.
Or property tax.
Oh, somebody said they had a 64 Nova wagon with 429,000 miles on it. That's pretty good. Guess those GM engines pretty darn good.
Yeah, that is really good.
Coffee still have that kind of energy. I actually don't drink coffee. You probably knew that about me. And I haven't had any caffeine at all today. So this is just natural Alex. This is why you don't want to see me having a bunch of caffeine. You'd have to slow down the chat to half speed to be able to understand what I'm saying. And I wouldn't be able to understand what I'm thinking or saying.
Sure.
But Potter's house is not sold. For those of you asking, it
But
is
we
rented.
are renting it, yeah.
That's fine. That house doesn't owe us anything. We own that house. That's done. We paid for all the repairs ourselves. We got it taken care of. We have renters in there. That house is not a worry. I'm glad that there's
Yeah.
a family in that house.
And a super nice family, so.
Yeah. So that's not priority. The priority for us right now is selling. I was going to say getting rid of, but for somebody, it's a great opportunity to open a business and be their own boss and all that sort of stuff. So it's like we wanted to be. So I need to rent or sell our other space because right now it's just dragging on us a little bit. So.
Colleen, Alexander actually avoids sugar. He uses, what is it called? Truvia, the stevia substitute. Yeah.
Elizabeth says, my husband owned a shoe store and was shocked that people negotiate prices. What if they only came in and they wanted 2 left feet? Like, my wife says I'm really bad at dancing, so I should probably just buy 2 lefts. Maybe like, can I get a deal on that?
For looking at me for a reaction, I had to give you one.
That's right. Somebody's wanting an update on the Rolls-Royce bumper. Okay, I'm going to try and read some of these comments and actually respond to some of your messages too. And if you see anything that's pressing, or if somebody sends a super chat, we'll definitely make sure to try and get to those as well.
Dave, have you ever tried the High Horse coffee before? I'm curious, if so, which ones you've tried.
No, Dave has. He likes Dedmonton.
Yeah, well, he said that they had Dedmonton, but I don't know if he's actually tried it or not.
Yeah. So the Rolls-Royce rear bumper, we've been going through insurance back and forth on that because the tow truck company said, we didn't do it. And then the shop is like, he's English. Well, I didn't do it either. I don't know. He didn't shake his head. Whoa. He wasn't like, well,
Oh my gosh.
you drank your tea with the wrong hand. Whoa. Just because he's English doesn't make him extra fancy. But he said, well, I didn't do that. It wasn't me. I didn't do it. Blame them. Anyway, so both of them are like, they didn't do it. So I'm like, can't you guys just figure this out? So it seems like right now we went from neither one of them wanting to do anything about it to now they both might split the bill to maybe the tow truck company was supposed to take pictures when they dropped it off and they never did. So they might have to pay for the whole thing because they have the liability of moving the vehicle and they have no proof that they delivered it in good condition.
We have proof that it left in good condition because of YouTube.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
So we're just waiting for that to get done. I mean, I'm also waiting on brake parts. Tomorrow should be kind of an exciting day because this is what's happening tomorrow. This is what I have lined for tomorrow in my web of activity. And it takes this kind of energy to manage this stuff, folks. You got to trust me on this. I have Angel from our upholsterer is going to the shop to start look at fitting the convertible top while it's at the other shop because they're waiting for brake parts. I have Dave the sign. Oh, I don't know. I'm counting backwards from like 2 to 1, but okay. So Angela is going to put the start to get the top put on the car, and trust me, I'll be happy when that's on because you don't want to be driving a car and hit a rainstorm and then it's bad news. Next up, we have Dave, our sign painter, starting to do something very fun and interesting on the side of our building. You can imagine a sign painter might be painting something. And thirdly, I am going to the farm, which I bought all the bottles from with Josh. and we're gonna see what he can get for himself to build some stuff with. Hopefully I can hook him up with some sweet stuff for his art, and I'm gonna find hopefully some more things for me to buy. I already own a motorcycle and a big red Honda Trike that's sitting out there waiting for me that I got to bring back. So those are coming back regardless, and I'm going to see what else I can cram in my ambulance all around it like a jigsaw puzzle. So I've got all that stuff happening amongst also trying to be home for supper. I like to be home for dinner. If you didn't know about me, I like to be home for dinner.
I like
to
them home
spend
for
time.
dinner too.
Yeah, I like to eat your vittles.
I look forward to when you come home. So.
Yeah. And yeah, I'll try and film while I'm out there with Josh too and get some content for you. It'll be different than the last time I went out to that farm because I'm going to be looking for different stuff, and now there's a motorcycle involved. So anyway, it'll be good.
How many cars do we have right now? I don't know if that includes mine. I have one.
Yeah, Melissa. Okay.
Well, but we sold 2 of them that are sitting in the garage.
3 are gone now. Rolls-Royce parts car gone.
Oh yeah.
Alfa Romeo gone. BMW Isetta gone. Well, sold.
Yeah.
So we got rid of 3 vehicles, and at the end of the day, this is the thing that stinks about that Rolls-Royce parts car. I paid $4,000 for that car. $4,000 I paid for it because I needed a bunch of parts. I probably took $4,000 worth of parts off, but I sold it for $300. That means somebody got a good hood, they got a good trunk, they got door handles, they got seat motors, they got an engine, they got all that stuff for $300. Why did I sell it so cheap? Because we're supposed to be pouring concrete in the backyard in a little over 2 weeks, and that car was in the way. And I didn't want to have to pay to get it towed again. So this way somebody pays me. It's out of my way, out of my life. And frankly, sometimes you just have to be able to be, you have to be willing to step away from something and not worry about the money that comes from it. So I still have all the gauges out of it. I got the dashwood for my car, the dashboard. I got all kinds of stuff. The other reason why I need it out of the backyard is that I need to do some landscaping back there. We were told we needed to plant 13 trees and bushes in front of the old store. And I said, well, that's nuts because that's only like 25 feet and you can't put 13 trees there. I'm not planting a forest in front of my business because the city has this thing. Anyway, Sean, if you're on right now, he was able to help kind of spread these things out amongst our backyard as well so they would count it. I understand the city doesn't want to have a concrete jungle. They want to have it looking manicured and nice.
Yeah.
That's all fine. I get it. 13 trees in a 25-foot span like that is like, that's a forest.
Is it 10985?
Yeah, 10985 127th Street.
Somebody asked if they wanted to send something what the address was.
Oh yeah, that's us.
I just sent it to the store.
Cool. So it's not 23, it's 13 trees and shrubs and so forth.
Oh, can you imagine 23? I was freaked out about 13.
Jane says, what do your neighbors think of your fun activities? And I would have to say to Jane, earlier we mentioned that both of our neighbors put their houses up at the exact same time. But generally they think that they never tell us it's a problem. Could be because they're Canadian, and so are we. But they're like, oh no, it's all good. Yeah, we like
have
old
pretty
cars.
amazing neighbors, though. Like all in all, we have pretty awesome
But
neighbors.
meanwhile, they're pounding the sign into the ground. Why are you guys selling?
Yeah.
Oh, no, just... Not,
We
no
have a
reason.
young couple on this side, and we have another young couple on that side.
Yeah, but
they're super nice.
we need to log off because I have to walk down the street. I actually have a pick tonight. Somebody's left some
that's why you're
antiques
looking.
in their garage, and they said I had to come by and pick them up right about now. So I am going to go pick up a box full of antiques, literally like 7 doors down from my own house. That's like
So-
the closest I'll ever have to go to buy antiques.
Maybe Matthew will put on the link for Jakota's channel because he's doing his Madness Mondays. So
Oh,
after this,
For those of you that don't know Jakota is Josh's brother. Josh and Jakota are brothers that we hire to do contract work for us, such as the Potter's House. And sometimes when we need handyman work, they'll likely be working with us on the new build as well. And Jakota has a channel where he does all kinds of fun stuff. So yes, go check it out. So thank you guys very much for watching today. If you have any questions, you can send them over to curiosityedmonton@gmail.com. We'll be opening the store June 2nd. So if you're in the Edmonton area, please be safe, please social distance and take the appropriate measures, but please do come by and see us because I'm a social fella and I love to say hi to everybody who comes through the doors. And look forward to seeing you all soon. Thank you for joining us tonight on the live feed. Hope you had fun and we'll see you all soon. Bye for now, guys.
bye everyone.
Bye.